What if your deepest heartbreak wasn't the end of your story, but the start of your greatest transformation? Have you ever wondered if pain could secretly be the teacher you've been needing all along? Imagine emerging from heartache not just healed, but wiser, stronger, and more unstoppable than ever. Would you take that first step? You loved them with everything you had. With every beat of your heart you believed, truly believed, that this was it. They were the one. You gave them your trust, your time, your soul. You opened yourself completely, hoping they felt the same. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Either way, something changed. Something broke. Maybe it was betrayal. Maybe it was a slow drifting apart. Or maybe without warning, it ended. Like a door slammed shut while you were still inside. And now, it feels like your entire world has collapsed in on itself. Like the future you pictured has vanished into dust. The pain is sharp, disorienting. It leaves you breathless. And in your darkest moments, you might wonder, will I ever trust again? Will I ever feel whole? Let me tell you this. What you're feeling is not only natural, it's necessary. This aching confusion, this hollow grief, this tidal wave of emotion, it's not weakness. It's part of being human, part of loving deeply. And while it feels like you've been shattered, it also means there's space now, space to rebuild. Yes, it may feel like there's no light in sight. But just because you can't see the horizon doesn't mean it isn't there. And here's the truth you might not believe just yet. You don't have to stay stuck in this pain. You can rise from it, not by denying it, but by using it. You can turn this heartbreak into your turning point, into the moment you grew into someone wiser, braver, more grounded in yourself. Today, we'll walk through ancient Stoic principles, tools that have carried warriors, philosophers, and everyday people through life's harshest storms for over 2,000 years. These aren't empty cliches or feel-good slogans. They're tested strategies for facing pain head-on, transforming it, and stepping forward with strength and clarity. Together, we'll explore how to manage the chaos within, how to find peace amid the loss, and how to reconnect with a part of you that may have been forgotten in the relationship, yourself. And if you're still doubting whether healing is possible, let me offer you another story. Think of Maya Angelou. She survived deep heartbreak, betrayal, trauma, and still rose to become one of the most powerful voices in literature and civil rights. Her pain didn't break her, it shaped her voice, and her voice shaped the world. So if you're in pain right now, if your heart is cracked, wide open, stay with me. You're not broken, you're becoming. And on the other side of this, there is something extraordinary waiting for you. Let's begin. First, face yourself. When a relationship ends, it can feel like the sky has collapsed on top of you, like a sudden crushing weight has knocked the breath out of your soul. You're overwhelmed. Sadness clings to your chest. Anger pulses through your veins. Confusion clouds your every thought. But here's something vital. It's okay to feel all of this. It's not weakness, it's evidence of your humanity. It's the beginning of your healing. Think of your emotions like a turbulent sea. If you try to steer through the storm blindfolded, denying what's around you, you're bound to crash. But if you face it with awareness and intention, you regain control of the helm. You can't stop the storm, but you can learn to navigate through it. In the days after heartbreak, emotions arrive in waves. One moment, you're drowning in sadness. The next, you're consumed by rage. And then, strangely, you might feel a flicker of relief. This emotional whiplash isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're processing, that you're moving. These feelings are natural. They are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Imagine your emotional state as the weather. Storms come, but so does sun. You don't panic during the rain because you know it will eventually pass. The same is true of emotional pain. It might be fierce now, but it won't last forever. Instead of resisting your emotions, try welcoming them without judgment. One simple yet powerful tool is naming them. When sadness strikes, say, "This is sadness." When anger bubbles up, name it, "This is anger." Why? Because labeling your feelings creates a small space between you and the emotion. It gives you the power to observe it instead of being consumed by it. This is where Stoic philosophy offers profound insight. The Stoics didn't believe in running from emotions or pretending they didn't exist. Instead, they taught us to manage our reactions. We may not control when grief comes knocking, but we absolutely control how we open the door. You don't have to silence your sorrow. You don't need to plaster on a smile, but you do have a choice. You can allow your pain to shape you into someone wiser, deeper, and more grounded. When you ask, "What can this teach me?" or "How can I grow from this pain?" you turn suffering into strength. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. So take heart. Facing your feelings isn't a one-time event. It's a daily act of courage. There will be days you feel strong and days you feel like you're unraveling. That's okay. Healing isn't linear, but each time you choose to sit with your sadness, to breathe through your anger, to ask your emotions what they've come to teach, you are healing. You are growing, and you are reclaiming your power, one brave moment at a time. Another example of this is actor Keanu Reeves, who has endured profound personal losses, including the death of his partner and their child, yet continues to live with quiet grace and resilience. He hasn't denied his grief, he's honored it, and in doing so, he's become a symbol of silent strength. So give yourself that same grace. Don't run from your pain. Face it with gentleness, with courage, and with the belief that even this heartbreak is shaping a stronger version of you. Second, create your own space. After a breakup, one of the kindest, most powerful gifts you can offer yourself is space. True, intentional space, not a void of avoidance, not isolation in bitterness, but space that breathes. Space that holds you like a soft blanket, giving your mind the air to recalibrate and your heart the stillness to gently mend. This space is not an escape, it's a return to you. When a relationship ends, your world can shrink. Suddenly, your environment feels haunted by echoes of what once was. Familiar songs feel sharp. Your daily routine becomes a reel of reminders, and even your own thoughts feel tangled in memories. It's as if the past is trying to replay itself in an endless loop. Creating space is how you break free from that loop. It starts with boundaries, strong, compassionate boundaries. Maybe that means stepping away from contact with your ex. Even if your separation was peaceful, ongoing interactions can tether you emotionally to something that needs room to release. Mute their social media, silence their texts, clear the digital static. This isn't cruelty, it's an act of self-respect. You're choosing clarity over confusion and healing over hesitation. Physical space matters too. If certain places bring up painful memories, a favorite cafe, a shared playlist, a particular corner of your home, give yourself permission to step back. Healing requires stillness, not constant confrontation. But here's the heart of it. Space isn't just about subtraction. It's about creation. You're not just avoiding pain. You're carving out room for peace. Use this time to reconnect with the essence of who you are, beyond the identity that existed within the relationship. Write freely. No filter, no pressure. Let your thoughts find the page and take up space unapologetically. Go for aimless walks. Feel the rhythm of your steps. Return to your own pace. Create new rituals that reflect the version of you who's emerging now, not the one shaped by someone else. Even something as simple as rearranging your room can be a powerful shift. Light a candle, open a window, move your furniture, shift the energy. When your external world begins to change, your internal world starts to believe that change is possible. 2. The Stoics understood the sacredness of solitude. They didn't advocate for isolation, but for introspection. Epictetus wisely said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." And sometimes, to change your view, you need to change your vantage point. That's what space offers. Perspective, a chance to pull back from the noise and remember what truly matters. But balance is essential. Don't disappear completely. Stay tethered to the people who nourish your soul. Allow solitude to coexist with support. Make room for both the silence of healing and the voices of those who lift you. And above all, be patient. Some days you'll wake up feeling whole again. Other days, grief will surprise you like a cold wind. Let it. Space allows for both the falling and the rising. It doesn't demand linearity. It only invites truth. So clear the clutter. Mute the noise. Let the quiet in. In that stillness, in that sacred space, you will begin to hear your own voice again. And it will remind you are still here, still whole, still worthy of everything beautiful yet to come. 3. Staying calm in the eye of emotional storms. After a breakup, your emotions can feel like a whirlwind, sharp, erratic, and relentless. One moment you're overwhelmed with sadness, the next you're seething with anger. Then comes the numbness, followed by a flood of longing. It's like being tossed around in a storm without any shelter. But amid that chaos, there is an anchor you can return to again and again. Calm. Let's be clear. Staying calm doesn't mean pretending you're fine or suppressing your emotions. It means holding space for those emotions without letting them take over. It means being the eye of your own storm, still, steady, and centered, even when the winds rage around you. And this is exactly where Stoic philosophy becomes more than just an idea. It becomes a lifeline. The Stoics, those ancient masters of inner peace, taught that while we may not control the events that befall us, we always have a say in how we respond. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's wisest emperors, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So how do you access that strength when your heart feels like it's breaking in real time? Start with your breath. When your mind starts spiraling, when your heart pounds and your throat tightens, return to your body. Inhale slowly and deeply. Hold that breath, then exhale even slower. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your chest soften. This simple act signals your nervous system, I'm okay, I'm grounded, I can breathe through this. Then shift your perspective. Picture your emotions like passing weather. You are the sky, vast, open, steady. Emotions are just clouds drifting through. Some are heavy with rain, others are dark with thunder, but none of them define you. They will pass. You remain. Practice mindfulness. Even 5 minutes can change everything. Sit in stillness. Notice your thoughts without clinging to them. Are you replaying old conversations, wondering what you could have done differently? That's okay. Just notice. Don't judge. Don't fix. Just be present with what's real right now. Mindfulness isn't about erasing the pain. It's about meeting it with compassion and clarity, and perhaps most powerfully, delay your reactions. When your emotions spike, don't act immediately. Don't call your ex in the middle of the night. Don't lash out on social media. Don't make life-altering decisions when your heart is still bleeding. Create space between the urge and the action. That space is where your wisdom lives. Choosing calm doesn't mean you're detached or emotionless. It means you're in charge. It means you've decided not to let your pain speak for you. It means you've chosen grace over impulse. In the words of Viktor Frankl, a modern Stoic in his own right, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That's what calm really is. Freedom. The freedom to breathe instead of break. The freedom to move forward without burning bridges. The freedom to become stronger, clearer, and wiser through adversity. So the next time your emotions threaten to overwhelm you, return to your breath, to your presence, to your stillness, and remind yourself, this hurts, but it doesn't own me. I am still here, and I am stronger than this storm. Fourth, take care of yourself. In the tender wreckage that follows heartbreak, it's easy to lose yourself in the noise. You might find yourself reaching for anything, screens, sugar, scrolling, or silence, just to feel something else, anything else. At first glance, these things feel like comfort, but in reality, they are distractions, short-lived relief that often deepen the ache rather than soothe it. You stay up all night watching shows that numb you. You skip meals or overindulge in food that leaves you heavy, not just in your stomach, but in your spirit. You isolate. You escape. You cope, not in ways that restore you, but in ways that make the pain feel more permanent. This is where many lose themselves, but it doesn't have to be your story. The Stoics, who lived through exile, betrayal, and personal loss, warned of the dangers of indulgence and impulse. They understood that true power lies not in denying all pleasure, but in choosing what genuinely nourishes us. They called this virtue temperance, the wisdom to care for your soul, not just your senses. So, what does real self-care look like after a heartbreak? Let's start here. You are not broken. You are bruised, and bruises heal best when tended to with gentleness and care. First, take stock of your habits. What do you reach for when the sadness creeps in? Is it endless TikToks? Is it fast food? Or forgotten dinners? Is it hours of mindless scrolling that leave you feeling emptier than before? Now imagine replacing one of those habits with something nourishing. Instead of midnight screen time, curl up with a journal. Instead of ordering another greasy takeout meal, cook something colorful, fresh, and warm. Instead of retreating from the world, go on a walk with someone who makes you laugh, or sit under a tree in silence and listen to your breath. It's not about reinventing yourself overnight. It's about one decision at a time. Let's break it down. Nutrition is your first medicine. When your heart is weary, your brain suffers too. Eat foods that help your body heal. Salmon, berries, greens, walnuts, whole grains. These aren't trendy, they're soul fuel. Movement is your medicine too. Exercise doesn't just build muscles, it builds resilience. It shakes off the stuckness. Whether it's dancing in your living room or running through the streets like you're chasing freedom itself, let your body move. Let your breath catch up with your soul. Sleep is sacred. Grief often keeps you awake. So create a ritual around rest. Dim the lights. Drink a calming tea. Read a few pages of something gentle. Your body repairs in the dark. Don't rob it of that chance. Mental care is just as vital. Meditate, journal, talk. Let your thoughts out of the spinning cage inside your head. Meditation teaches you to sit with your pain without letting it consume you. Journaling turns chaos into clarity, ink into insight. And don't underestimate the power of connection. You don't have to be strong alone. Reach out to someone, anyone who sees you. You don't need a fixer, just a witness, a friend, a sibling, a mentor. Sometimes healing begins with a simple, "Hey, I'm not okay." Remember this, self-care is not indulgence, it's responsibility. It's not about bubble baths and scented candles, though those help too. It's about showing up for yourself in the most tender, broken moments and saying, you still matter, you're still worth caring for. The Stoics taught that our mind and body must work in harmony. You cannot achieve peace of mind while neglecting the vessel that carries it. By choosing care over chaos, discipline over disorder, nourishment over numbness, you're not just recovering from a breakup, you're rebuilding yourself, and every small choice is a brick in the foundation of a wiser, more resilient version of you. So eat, sleep, move, breathe, connect. Not because you should, but because you deserve to. And every time you do, you whisper to yourself, I am healing, I am rising. Fifth, learn and grow. Breakups can shatter your heart, but they also crack open the doorway to deep, lasting growth. It doesn't feel like it at first. It feels like a loss, like failure, like something precious was ripped away from you, but beneath the ache lies a quiet truth. Endings are fertile ground for evolution. Think of it like a video game. You don't level up when things are easy. You level up through the trials, the losses, the hard-fought battles that force you to sharpen your awareness, build new tools, and evolve. Every challenge unlocks a new version of you, and heartbreak is no exception. Yes, it hurts, but in that pain, there's wisdom waiting to be uncovered, if you're brave enough to look. So where do you begin? Start by reflecting on the relationship, not to obsess or relive the pain, but to extract the gold from the rubble. Ask yourself, what did this teach me about who I am? What did I learn about my needs, my limits, and my patterns? Where did I grow? Where did I abandon myself? This isn't about blaming yourself or blaming your ex. This is about understanding, because with understanding comes healing, and with healing comes transformation. Let's begin with the good. Yes, even the painful relationships hold beauty. What moments brought you joy? What made you feel seen, supported, or deeply connected? These are clues. Maybe it was the way you felt during long conversations, or how you laughed over little things. These moments point to what you value, whether it's emotional depth, shared passions, or consistency. Let them guide your future, not just in love, but in life. Now gently examine the difficult parts. Were there recurring patterns, communication breakdowns, Times when you silenced yourself just to keep the peace. Did you feel like you were shrinking just to be loved? These aren't failures, they're insights, and they're gold. True growth comes when you're willing to look inward, even when it's uncomfortable. Were there times when fear led your decisions, when you ignored red flags, when you were too proud to say, "I need help"? Don't shame yourself for these moments. Thank them. They're teaching you how to choose differently next time. Here's a powerful practice: journaling. Write it all down, the highs, the lows, the patterns, the realizations. Journaling gives shape to the chaos. It's where your truth starts to surface and where self-awareness is born. Over time, you'll begin to see things clearly, your own part, your own growth, and the meaning behind what felt meaningless. You're not meant to do this alone either. Seek feedback. Talk to friends who've witnessed your relationship. Talk to a therapist. Listen to people who can reflect your blind spots back to you, not with judgment, but with love. The truth can sting, but it can also set you free. Another powerful ally? Books. Let the wisdom of others walk you through your own healing. Read about emotional intelligence, boundaries, attachment. Read the words of the Stoics, who knew that life's storms don't destroy us, they reveal us. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Your heartbreak is not your undoing, it's your remaking. And here's something to hold on to. You don't need to get everything right. You just need to be honest, willing, open. Growth doesn't happen in leaps. It happens in layers, quietly, slowly, and then all at once. One day you'll look back and realize that what broke you open also built you up. That the version of you who walked out of that heartbreak is wiser, calmer, and more complete than the one who entered it. So don't rush it. Don't force it. Let it unfold. Let the pain be your teacher. Let the ending become a beginning. Because every lesson you learn now is a seed planted in the soil of your becoming. And what grows from that will be nothing short of remarkable. Sixth, reset your life and set new goals. After a breakup, it can feel like the life you were building, the dreams, the routines, the shared plans, suddenly vanishes. You're left, standing in the silence, unsure of what comes next. But that emptiness, it's not a void, it's an invitation. What if this isn't the end of your story, but the moment it changes course? This is your chance to press reset, not as a form of denial or distraction, but as a powerful act of self-creation. Because your life still holds meaning, still holds beauty, still holds untraveled roads and untapped strength. Think of it like restarting a game after a loss. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from wisdom. You've gained knowledge, insight, and clarity. And now you have the opportunity to step forward, not as who you were, but as who you're becoming. Start by anchoring yourself in actionable, life-giving goals. Not huge, overwhelming mountains to climb, but small, meaningful steps that reignite your sense of purpose. Ask yourself, what have I always wanted to do but kept putting off? What would make me feel more alive, even just a little? Write everything down. Big dreams, quiet curiosities, silly ideas, ambitious plans. Don't filter, don't judge. Just let your imagination speak. Maybe it's learning to play the piano, taking a solo trip, running a 5K, designing your own space, or finally, writing that novel you've carried in your heart for years. Maybe it's as simple as learning to cook one nourishing meal from scratch, or spending 10 minutes each morning journaling in sunlight. These aren't distractions, they're declarations. I still have dreams. I still have a future. Then, prioritize. Which of these goals speaks to your soul right now? Which ones stir something inside you, a spark, a whisper of excitement? Once you've picked a few, break them down into tiny, doable steps. If you want to run a 5K, start with walking 3 times a week. If your dream is to create art, begin with a sketch pad and a single YouTube tutorial. The smallest step is infinitely more powerful than the biggest intention never acted on. The Stoics remind us, focus on what you can control. You cannot undo the past. You cannot erase the heartbreak. But you can take action today. You can choose discipline, curiosity, and progress, no matter how small. This isn't about fixing everything at once. It's about reclaiming your direction, piece by piece. Each small win builds momentum. Each forward step rewrites the narrative. You're not drifting anymore. You're designing. Remember to celebrate along the way. Celebrate the first page of your journal, the first recipe you nail, the first day you felt good again. Every win matters. Every action reminds you that you're not broken. You're rebuilding. You're not trying to go back to who you were. You're becoming someone new. Someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who knows that heartbreak doesn't define them, but how they rise from it does. So take a deep breath, pick your first goal, and begin. Your future is waiting for you to create it. 7th, the healing. Power of friendship. Why you shouldn't go through this alone. In the aftermath of a heartbreak, silence can feel strangely comforting. You might find yourself pulling back from the world, hiding behind closed doors, convincing yourself that no one could possibly understand the depth of your pain. But here's the quiet truth. While solitude can be soothing in small doses, isolation can deepen the wound. You were never meant to carry this alone. Talking to friends after a breakup isn't a sign of weakness. It's a deeply courageous act of healing. Think of your friends as your emotional first responders. When your heart is broken and your sense of self is cracked, they're the ones who show up, hold space, and remind you of your worth. They see the version of you that you've forgotten in the fog of pain. They don't always have the answers, but sometimes all you need is their presence. Start by identifying the people who genuinely care for you. Not just acquaintances, but those who show up without asking for anything in return. These are the ones who don't need you to perform, pretend, or polish your emotions. They listen with open hearts. They sit in your sadness without trying to rush it away. When you reach out, it doesn't need to be dramatic. A simple message, "Hey, I'm not doing well, can we talk?" is enough. That small act of vulnerability can crack the door open to deep relief. And when you do speak, let yourself be raw. You might stumble through your words, repeat the same story 3 times, or burst into tears halfway through a sentence. That's okay. Healing isn't about eloquence. It's about honesty. Something powerful happens when your pain is witnessed by someone else. It starts to loosen its grip. You begin to feel seen again, not as broken, but as human. Make connection a habit, not a one-time thing. Set up a weekly lunch, a standing call, or even a regular walk. These consistent moments anchor you back to life. They remind you that there's a world beyond the heartbreak, a world where you are loved, needed, and supported. When your friends offer advice, listen with an open heart, but trust your own discernment. Sometimes all you need is to be heard. Other times, a well-placed insight can shift the way you see everything. And don't forget, the best friendships are mutual. While it's okay to lean, also remember to listen. Ask how they're doing, offer your presence. Gratitude and reciprocity make the bond stronger and shift your focus from your own pain to something more life-affirming: connection. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we are made for cooperation, like the hands and feet of the same body. To heal, we must live in community. To thrive, we must share our burdens. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are a soul in need of support. And there's beauty in that vulnerability. Let your friends walk with you through this. Their voices, their laughter, their compassion, they may not erase the pain, but they'll remind you that you're not alone in it. And sometimes that's all it takes to begin finding your way back to light. Eighth, discover new passions. After a breakup, it often feels like there's a heavy silence where laughter used to live. Time that was once filled with shared moments now stretches out, wide and hollow. But hidden in that space is an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to remember who you are beyond the relationship, and more importantly, who you're still becoming. Breakups don't just mark endings. They offer a profound invitation to begin again, to rebuild, redefine, and rediscover yourself. Imagine this part of your life as a blank canvas, freshly stretched and waiting for color. Now, you hold the brush. What passions have been buried beneath compromise or routine? What dreams did you shelve to make room for someone else's priorities? This is your time to retrieve them. Maybe you once found joy in photography, gardening, writing, or dancing, but let it go. Or perhaps there's something entirely new that has always called to you quietly: woodworking, scuba diving, podcasting, astronomy. Whatever it is, follow that curiosity. Don't think of these as mere distractions. They are acts of self-respect. Every hour spent exploring something new is a vote of confidence in your future, a way of saying to yourself, I am still here. I still matter, and this isn't just about keeping busy. It's about rebuilding identity. Relationships often weave our sense of self into someone else's tapestry. After a breakup, there's a unique power in pulling those threads apart, to find what's truly yours again, your preferences, your passions, your rhythm. From a Stoic point of view, this is one of the most empowering moves you can make. You can't rewrite what has already happened, but you can choose what you do next. You can reclaim your time, you can redirect your energy, you can create meaning, not from the relationship, but from the life you build in its wake. As you step into new experiences, something incredible begins to happen. You discover new layers of yourself: resilience, enthusiasm, courage. You meet people who inspire you. You learn skills that empower you. Life, which once felt like it had closed in, begins to open again, wide with possibility. And yes, it might feel awkward at first. You might fumble with the guitar strings, mispronounce a new language, spill paint across the floor. But that's part of it. Growth isn't graceful, it's honest. And in that honesty, joy is born. Let your healing heart pull you forward. Let your curiosity be your compass. Whether it's hiking unfamiliar trails, volunteering in your community, or finally launching that idea you always postponed, this is your time. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do with your next chapter. So pick up that pen, enroll in that class, join that club, say yes to discovery. You're not just moving on, you're moving forward into a richer, deeper, more vibrant version of yourself. And that is where true healing begins. Ninth, power of positive thinking in the wake of heartbreak, when your chest feels hollow and your future has blurred into uncertainty. Staying positive might feel impossible or even foolish. But in truth, this is the exact moment when your mindset matters most. Thinking positively after a breakup isn't about slapping on a fake smile or denying the ache in your chest. It's about learning to shift your perspective from despair to growth. It's choosing to believe, not blindly but bravely, that this ending can also be a new beginning. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes your foundation. The Stoics didn't teach that life should be painless. They taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. That the lens through which you see the world is more powerful than the world itself. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Your thoughts are the soil where healing begins. So ask yourself gently, what truth has this heartbreak revealed? Maybe it showed you the importance of emotional boundaries. Maybe it uncovered parts of yourself you had long neglected. Maybe it stripped away illusions and left behind something raw but real. Even pain can be a teacher if you're willing to listen. This doesn't mean you'll feel joyful every day. It means practicing gratitude even when joy feels far away. Gratitude for the strength to stand. Gratitude for the clarity that pain has brought. Gratitude for the people who held space for you when you couldn't hold yourself. Find light in the little things, a breeze on your face, a friend who checks in, a song that reminds you you're not alone. Let these moments carry weight. Let them be enough for now, and when the darkness creeps in, as it surely will, choose to speak to yourself with kindness. Say, I am healing. Say, this pain will pass. Say, I am not broken. I am becoming. Repeat those words until they begin to feel true, because what you tell yourself today becomes what you believe tomorrow. And beliefs over time shape your reality. The Stoics understood that life is never within our control, but our response to it always is. When you respond with compassion, wisdom, and hope, you don't erase the past. You rise above it. Replace, why did this happen to me, with, what is this here to teach me? Replace, I'll never be the same, with, I'm changing and that's okay. Because in truth, you won't be the same. You'll be stronger, softer in the right places, sharper in others, more rooted, more open, more you. This isn't about pretending the breakup didn't hurt. It's about refusing to let it define you. So stand in the fire, but don't let it consume you. Let it forge you. You're not just surviving heartbreak. You're transforming through it. And one day, you'll look back and realize that this wasn't the end. It was the moment you finally came home to yourself. Final reflections. From heartbreak to wholeness. Heartbreak can feel like the end of everything, the end of connection, of safety, of the version of yourself that once felt whole. But if you've made it this far, if you've faced your feelings, given yourself space, reached for calm, rediscovered your spark, and chosen to grow, then you're already doing the most powerful thing of all. You're choosing to heal, and healing isn't about going back to who you were before. It's about stepping forward into someone wiser, deeper, and more self-aware. Someone who doesn't just survive the pain, but transforms through it. Someone who now knows that their worth never depended on someone else's love, and that inner peace doesn't come from holding on, but from learning to let go with grace. You are not what you've lost. You are what you choose to build in its place. So let this be your reminder. You're allowed to start again. You're allowed to dream again. and you're allowed to love again. Most importantly, to love yourself fully without apology. And if this video has resonated with you, if it helped you take even one step forward, then don't keep that light to yourself. Share it with someone who might need it. Leave a comment and let us know which part touched you most. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more Stoic insights, emotional healing tools, and life guidance grounded in ancient wisdom and modern strength. Because this journey isn't over, it's only just beginning. And you're not broken. You're becoming whole. One breath, one truth, one brave step at a time.